In this video, we're going to go through ionic bonding practice 3, numbers 3 and number 4. So we're going to start with number 3. Number 3 says, what ionic compound will form from each of the following elements? Show all your work. So we're looking at magnesium nitrite. So the first thing we need to do is identify our cation, and hopefully by now you recognize that the cation always comes first, and the anion comes second. And notice that nitrite, it's not nitride, it's nitrite. So we're going to have to look at our polyatomic ions chart, and here is nitrite right here. So nitrite does have a -1 charge, so that is our anion, NO2 1 minus is our anion, and the cation is magnesium. And when you look at your periodic table, magnesium is in group 2, which means it's going to have a charge of 2+. It's going to lose 2 electrons. So far, our total charges are a +2 and a -1. And we need our total charge to equal 0. Well, 2+ and 1- do not equal 0. In order to get this to equal 0, we need this 1- to be a 2-. So I need a whole nother nitrite ion. Now I have 2 -1 charges, which gives me a total of a -2. So I have a +2 and a -2, which gives me 0. So this compound will be Mg NO2, and I have 2 NO2s. How do I indicate that I have 2 NO2s? I don't just have 2 oxygens. I actually have 4 oxygens. 2 oxygens up here and 2 oxygens down here. And I have 2 nitrogens. So I have 2 NO2s. So what I do is I put NO2 in parentheses and I put a 2 outside. This 2 means that I have 2 nitrogens and 2 O2s. So I actually have 4 oxygens, 2 nitrogens and 4 oxygens. And this is magnesium nitrite. Looking at number 4, highlight all of the transition metals, then name each of the following compounds. So let's find iron on the periodic table. There it is. Notice iron is in our box of multivalent compounds. It's in that box of multivalent compounds, which means we need Roman numerals when we name a compound with iron. So we need to figure out the Roman numeral for iron. So that means we need a cation and anion chart. Here we have iron. We know that that's going to be the cation because it's a metal. And we are trying to find out what will the charge be. And then we have NO3. So looking back at this chart, we can see that NO3 1- is nitrate, which means our anion is NO3 with a 1-. Notice that in this compound, we only have 1 iron, and we only have 1 NO3, one of those ions. So we have 1 NO3, which means our total charge for our anion is a -1. And we need the total charge to be 0, so that means our cation will need to have a +1 charge. Well, we only have 1 iron. We only have 1 of our cations, which means that this has to have a +1 charge. That means that's the charge of our transition metal. So when we name it, it will be iron, parenthesis 1. That 1 is from the charge. Nitrate. And nitrate, that name comes directly from our chart. Go ahead and finish up the back of this worksheet.